Norris versus Verstappen continues, Ferrari an outside chance for the Constructors' Championship, and who will make the most at the Mexican Grand Prix? Let's get into it. Welcome back to On Track GP. Today we're previewing the upcoming Mexican Grand Prix. Following Ferrari's dominant performance at the United States Grand Prix, where they secured a stunning 1-2 finish, we're excited to see what Mexico has in store for us. The championship battles are heating up, and this high altitude challenge could shake things up once again. Firstly, just a quick review of the United States Grand Prix. At the Circuit of the Americas, we witnessed a Ferrari masterclass. Charles Leclerc took the lead from the start and controlled the race, while Carlos Sainz managed to outmaneuver Max Verstappen in the pit stops. It wasn't just about Ferrari though. We saw some fantastic midfield battles with Liam Lawson and Franco Colapinto impressing once again. Now, as we shift our focus to Mexico, let's dive into what we can expect from this unique circuit. Up first, we have our circuit overview. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez presents a unique challenge as the highest race in terms of altitude on the Formula One calendar, sitting at about 2,240 metres above sea level. Despite featuring a long straight and high-speed corners, teams will be running maximum downforce due to the thinner air. What makes this track so special is the combination of its layout and atmospheric conditions. Expect to see top speeds exceeding 350 kilometers an hour thanks to the reduced air density and consequently lower drag. This creates a fascinating scenario where cars are running high downforce setups but still achieving incredible straight line speeds. The circuit layout itself is a compelling mix of different challenges. It begins with a long straight leading into a tight first corner, often the scene of dramatic first lap incidents. The middle sector features a series of flowing corners that test the car's balance and the driver's precision. The final sector is perhaps the most unique as the drivers wind through the Foro Sol Stadium section. Here, drivers navigate a slow technical sequence of corners surrounded by grandstands packed with passionate fans, creating an atmosphere unmatched in Formula One. The famous Peraltada corner, while modified from its original fearsome form, still provides a thrilling end to the lap. Drivers exit the stadium section and sweep through this fast right-hander before launching onto the main straight, often with the assistance of DRS. This combination of technical challenges, high speeds, and the ever-present effect of the altitude makes the Mexican Grand Prix a true test of both man and machine. The high altitude affects engine performance though, so turbochargers and energy recovery systems have mitigated power loss over the years. In recent seasons, Honda powered cars have shown an advantage here. This year we'll be keeping a close eye on how different power unit manufacturers cope with the thin air. Red Bull and RB with their Honda power units could have a slight edge, but don't count out the advancements of Ferrari, Mercedes and of course McLaren. Pirelli is bringing their softest tyre range to Mexico, the C3 hard, the C4 medium and the C5 soft. Despite the soft compound selection, tyre wear is relatively low at this circuit. Last year saw only 27 pit stops throughout the race, with most drivers opting for a medium to hard one-stop strategy. We anticipate a similar approach this year, but teams might get creative with their tyre strategies given the performance swings we've seen recently. It's worth noting that while the soft tyres are available, they may not play a significant role in the race itself. Expect to see them primarily used in qualifying, with most teams favouring the medium and hard compounds for the Grand Prix. Contrary to what you might expect from the long straights and high downforce setups, overtaking can be challenging in Mexico. Last year saw only 48 on-track passes. The thinner air reduces the slipstream effect, making DRS less potent than at other circuits. There are 3 DRS zones to aid overtaking. The first is along the pit straight into turn 1, the second is on the exit of turn 3 into turn 4, and the third is on the exit of turn 11 into turn 12. The best overtaking spot is undoubtedly the approach to turn 1. After the long straight, drivers can slipstream and use DRS to set up a move. However, it's crucial to get the braking right in the thinner air, as we've seen many lockups and missed apexes here in the past. Let's take a look at last year's race. In 2023, Charles Leclerc secured pole position with a blistering time of a 1:17.166, hitting a top speed of 351 kilometers an hour. The race itself saw Max Verstappen take victory, continuing Red Bull's recent strength at this venue. A notable moment from last year was the collision between Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc, which pretty much ruined both drivers' races. Despite this, Leclerc managed to recover to a podium finish. The fastest lap in the race was set by Lewis Hamilton, clocking in a 1:21.234, showing that even with high downforce setups, the cars can achieve impressive lap times in race conditions. So as for lap times and performance expectations, I expect qualifying times to be around the 1:17 to the 1:18 mark, with race laps in the low 120s to the high 121s. depending on fuel load and tyre conditions, obviously. The thin air means that despite the high downforce setups, cars can achieve higher top speeds down the straights, but may struggle more with cooling and braking efficiency. It's time for our team-by-team breakdown ahead of Mexico. Haas will be looking to capitalise on their recent upturn in form, with Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen aiming to secure crucial points in the tight midfield battle. Williams have been buoyed by their improved performance this season and will be hoping that the unique characteristics of the Mexican circuit play to their strengths in low drag car design. Aston Martin have had a challenging season, but will be eager to see if their recent upgrades can help them regain their early season competitiveness in the thinner air at Mexico. RB have looked strong coming into Mexico, with Liam Lawson's fresh power unit potentially giving them an edge. The team's performance in Austin, particularly in the midfield battle, suggests that they could look like dark horses this weekend. Alpine will be looking for a turnaround in fortunes, especially with a lack of points finishes recently. The high altitude could play into their hands though, as they have made progress with their power unit efficiency. Mercedes are aiming to bounce back after a mixed performance in Austin. Lewis Hamilton will be eager to make amends after his early retirement, while George Russell will look to build on his impressive recovery drive from the pit lane to 6th place. Ferrari enter Mexico with the momentum, looking to close the gap in the Constructors' Championship. There are now just 8 points between Red Bull for 2nd place and 48 points behind McLaren for the lead. Charles Leclerc, sitting 22 points behind Lando Norris in the driver's standings, will be pushing hard for another strong result. Red Bull, despite a challenging US Grand Prix, historically performed well in Mexico. They've won every race here since 2017 except for 2019. Max Verstappen will be keen to reassert his dominance, while Sergio Perez faces the pressure of performing while on his home turf after a disappointing outing in Austin. McLaren may struggle to maintain their recent form, as the Mexican circuit characteristics might not suit their car as well as previous venues. The team will need to optimise their car setup to compete with Ferrari and Red Bull, especially given the strong pace that Ferrari showed last time out. So up next, we have some key factors to watch out for. Firstly, the altitude effects. Keep an eye on how different teams cope with the thin air, particularly in terms of cooling and brake performance. Next is tyre management. Despite the low wear, how teams handle the softer tyre compounds could be crucial for their race strategy. First lap action. With a long run into turn 1 and the stadium section, the opening lap could be decisive. Home hero. Sergio Perez will have the crowd behind him, but can he deliver a strong performance on home soil? Alright, it's that time once again. My predictions seem to be more off than on with every week, but that's part of the fun. Up first is my prediction for pole, which will be Max Verstappen. I can see that the Red Bull will be stronger in Mexico. My top 5 for the race will be Max Verstappen for the win, followed home by Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris will round out the podium. 4th place will go to Oscar Piastri, and 5th will go to Carlos Sainz. For me, I actually reckon the fastest lap could go to Franco Colapinto. In the midfield, I'm expecting good things from Liam Lawson and Nico Hülkenberg, and maybe a slight improvement for Fernando Alonso. And that's our preview for the Mexican Grand Prix. The high altitude, unique track characteristics, and recent form of the top teams all promise to deliver an exciting race weekend. What are your predictions for the race? Remember to let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Keep the pedal to the metal, and I'll see you for qualifying.